Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of What an Insight. What an Insight, a videocast series in which I host industry experts to bring to the table their perspectives on some really hot topics, listening to which you should definitely say, What an Insight. In today's panel here with us are three of our guests: Rhea Punjabi, career growth coach and a behavioral skills trainer; Sreeraman Thiagarajan, co-founder of Aghrahya, a voice and audio agency, and Avaz.com, India's first podcast network in Indian languages. We also have with us Manish Bhatia, senior manager, digital and original content, Radio Mirchi. Thank you so much for joining, guys.
Most welcome. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
So, our topic for discussion today is evolving businesses and workplace practices due to COVID-19. Before going into much detail about it, we all know that the lockdown as well as the real spread of novel coronavirus has transformed everything around us. So I would like to hear a few opening perspectives on this topic from you guys.
Okay, so Vishesh, I would actually like to wait as the pros and cons, and then maybe I could share my opinion. While there is a lot of unreliable news, unreliable sources spreading a lot of panic, fear, and employees are worried about layoffs, they are worried about lack of investments, they have lost personal touch with their colleagues, and there are various other issues happening. So that's the flip side. On the pro side, employees are definitely spending more time with family. So when I say spending time, I don't necessarily mean quality time. They're just there at home. Okay, but from a work life perspective, what's happening is that the entrepreneurs are maybe a lot happier, but the employees are the ones, especially in the mid level or the junior level, are the ones who are really suffering a lot. Reason being, they might be young parents, they might have kids at home, they have to attend parent teacher meetings, virtual meetings, there's no child care facility. Young mothers have to be on con calls during nap times, they have to take care of managing their limited resources and yet keep the family happy. And apart from that, typically an employee maybe works say 45 hours a week, but now suddenly he's expected to work say 80 to 100 hours also. So while there are a lot of positives, the negatives are a lot more from my perspective.
So, as we're getting more and more comfortable with digital communication as well as practicing social distancing, if we see from an entrepreneur or an organizational point of view, so I want to know from Sreeraman that what kind of changes can we expect in organizations and structures as such?
Right. So, look, the way news industry works, right? They report delta or the change, right? For example, every day 900 flights take off in a Bombay airport. You don't read about it. The one flight that did not take off, that's what makes news, right? So all the layoff, downsizing, company shutting down, obviously this will be reported more than for many more companies out there for who business is as usual, right? So yesterday's Economic Times reported the economy is at 57% right now, right? So that's because of our immobility, right? Not everybody is shutting down, and those who are shutting down or downsizing, well, I see two ways. One, they had an unviable business anyways, and they had to do what had to be done, and they did it. And some are using COVID as an excuse, right? So I could be very brutal in saying this, but that sounds like a fact to me, right? uh, so that's one side of things, right? Second is uh, everybody is coming up with some models on how work from home can be a permanent way to do things. It's kind of unlikely to happen at the scale at which people are expecting it to, because we are social animals, right? uh, Whatever happens in the world, you would still dress up for your cousin's wedding, you would still go out for your birthday, you would still shop for your kids and family, right? So things would come back to normal as soon as possible. We are forced to be in a lockdown. So this is not like a world war or some kind of property destruction where it takes like a decade for economy to spring back, right? Or this is not like the 2008 recession where there was a fundamental problem in economy. This is neither of them. This is a unfortunate lockdown situation where we are confined to homes, but everybody working, like Rhea said, if people are working for 80 hours, that shows there is enough work to be done, right? Not everybody is shutting down, and not everything has come to standstill. Our mobility is, yes, agreed. So the future, maybe the day to define a milestone marker, and this is either we have a cure or we have a vaccine, and soon after that, we will go back to what we were doing.
So we have all these changes here, and a lot of future predictions are coming out. So what possibly can we understand that can be an expected change in behaviors of consumers as well? And I would like to know that from Manish. What is his opinion about it?
Well, it's a very, I think when we talk about consumers, I'll take first example of my parents. It's a very basic example, very simple example. I'm sure your parents must be facing this problem. Earlier, they were not using online shopping much. But now there's so much used to online shopping. Now they want to order something. My mom, she wants to order something. She go on Grofers because she needs daily essentials. So the acceptability of online has increased to a level wherein even the age group of 35 plus have started to use online much. The percentage increase has been more than before. So things are changing. But yeah, with this online acceptance also, I see people have started to understand the difference between need and want. So during this lockdown period, we've realized what is our need and what is our want. And we are behaving accordingly. Earlier, we would like online shopping would be very impulsive. But now even online shopping, people are not very impulsive. People are thinking what is required, what is important to us. And we buy that thing first, stock that essential first. They're not thinking about anything else. Probably, maybe when things start phasing out and we come into a normalcy, people will still go back to that old online behavior of buying impulsively, but that won't be much as compared to it was before pre-COVID.
It's very interesting insight. Actually, the penetration of online is actually expected to go into that segment of the economy, or you can say the population, which were very apprehensive about using it or had minimal usage of it.